So obesity is bad. Inactivity is bad. Now, the great phrase is, when you move, your brain grooves. That's a great phrase. Remember those grooves in your brain, the top of your head? So when you move, you're making your brain not only perform better, but actually structurally change to optimize itself. So you want to move. You want to exercise. Inactivity is an enemy of brain performance. So keep moving, keep exercising, keep doing that. High stress, chronic high stress. We all have times where we hit stressful situations. We all get that. We all have times when someone that we love has passed away. We have times we lose jobs. We have times maybe good things happen, that we get promoted way beyond what we think we can do. Somebody has a car accident, whatever it might be. We have these periods of time that are times of high stress. But if we are like swimming in the pool of stress every day, week, month, and a year, this is bad for the brain as well. So we have to learn how to manage our stress. If you need to get professional help for that, do it. You need to find a stress coach kind of guy, do it. But you want to be able to manage stress. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I ask clients all the time, what's your stress level? Scale of 1 to 10. And neurofeedback's awesome for that, by the way. That I have the high performance neurofeedback, direct neurofeedback. People will come in, they'll say it's an 8 or a 9, and 20 minutes later, it's a 2, and they're doing great. Whatever your stress level's at, you need to kind of have a stress level of 2. If your stress level's 0, you just stay on the sofa. That's a problem. So you want your stress level to be a 2. You want to be responsible at paying your bills and taking care of your kids and all those kinds of things. So that's sort of the optimal stress level. But if your stress level is an 8, 9, or 10 all the time, every day for weeks, you got to get help for that. It's bad for your brain. Chronic anger. If you're somebody who blows up a lot, that could be from a temporal lobe problem, and you probably need to get that checked out. If it's like explosive rages, it's a neurological issue. You need to go get it checked out. It might be a certain kind of seizure. It might be things like a growth inside your brain. You do want to get that looked at. But if you're just an angry person, your dad was an angry person, grandpa was an angry person, and you're just an angry person, bad for your brain. So you want to work on that. You want to learn how to have peace in your life instead. And to go along with that, unforgiveness and bitterness, they are awful. Take it from me. It's awful. I have on my website at douglascowan.me, that's the website for my counseling practice, douglascowan.me. I have a free ebook for you on forgiveness that I've written through the last 5 years as I've worked through some issues myself. This is a big deal to be able to forgive people who have hurt you. And carrying unforgiveness, carrying bitterness is bad for your health, it's bad for your heart, it's bad for your brain. So please let it go. Please learn how to forgive people in a way that it will just release you and set you free from that. It's very important. Chronic depression for more than a year can also be this kind of problem. Can also lead to problems later on in life. So you want to get that fixed. Any depression that lasts more than a month, you should probably seek help from a professional and get treatment. Get treatment for that. Also, long-term anxiety. And like if you're having a series of panic attacks, anxiety attacks, something like that, you want to get treatment for that. Because long-term, if you let that keep going, that also ends up being bad for your brain down the road. Diabetes, if you suffer from that, then you want to make sure that you have the best treatment money can buy for that, because that'll also lead to brain problems down the road. And if you're borderline for that, you want to start eating perfectly so that you never become a diabetic. So again, we're back to the food issue because that is so very, very important. Hypertension, again, this problem for the brain. How about sleep? Less than 7 hours of sleep a night on average for fairly long term is potentially problematic. I know there are some of you out there that just like, you need 4 hours of sleep. That's all you need. you're rare. There's a bell curve in everything. If you're in that 1% over there on that side of the bell curve, okay. But for most of us in the middle of the bell curve, we need at least 7 hours of sleep. 8 hours is better. If you can afford it, if you can afford to just go to bed early, like 9:30 or 10, and wake up when you want to wake up, then that's a great lifestyle. Most of us need alarm clocks, so you want to just go to bed so you get yourself 7 or 8 hours of sleep every night. Low levels of vitamin D can also be problematic. It's okay to take vitamin D. It's okay to do that. It's okay to close your eyes without your glasses on, sit out in the sunshine for 10, 15 minutes a day, let your body soak that up. That's okay too. Vitamin D is very important in brain health. You want to check your hormone levels? So men, it's testosterone. That's what you got to check. You got to care about that. You want to keep that in the normal ranges or in the optimal ranges. And for you ladies, it's estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. All three of them are important for you when it comes to brain health. So ask your doc about that. Ask your doc how to keep those in harmony and at appropriate levels. Other things to wrap this up, there are other things like brain injuries, TPIs, concussions, repeated banging of the head. Now, this is football stuff. We all want our kids to play football. And from a therapist point of view, I just got to ask, why? It's the repeated bangings in the head from practice and games. Practice, you do that 5 days a week, and games once a week that cause the brain problems long term. So you take a professional football player, we've had 15 of them commit suicide in the last few years because their brains were turning to mush, and so they shoot themselves in the chest and ask people to study their brains. They knew it was a problem. When you look at the video on the DouglasCowan.me website where there's Jesse Sapolo and Kermit Alexander talking about their head injuries from playing pro football for 13, 14, 15 years. And they didn't just start playing pro football. They went from junior high to high school to college to professional football. So they had 30 years of banging heads with other people 30 times a day, 40 times a day, and professional football 60 times a day. So it's not just the big hits that does that. It's the constant banging. Soccer players are at risk for this as well. And so we need to be really careful about the sports that our kids play, and we need to kind of just manage that because we're looking at the problems that go on practice after practice, season after season, year after year. Please consider that. Unhealthy habits lead to unhealthy brains. So just consider what you do every day. And you know what? Unhealthy peer groups will lead to unhealthy habits. You are kind of going to mimic the most influential people in your life. So if they have good habits, you'll mimic good habits. And if they have bad habits, you will mimic bad habits. So check your peer group, see if it's helping you to survive, to live into your 80s with a sharp mind, or if they're going to lead you to problems. If you're the one with the sharp mind, you're going to be taking care of those who make bad decisions. So consider that. All right, let's just kind of wrap that up there. We're going to make a follow-up video here pretty soon that'll have the good things that you can do to keep your brain healthy. And then we're also going to talk about things that you can do, skills that you can learn to help you learn faster, bigger, stronger, faster, super fast learning. How can you do that? Whether you have an ADHD brain or a not ADHD brain, either way, these are skills you can learn to learn way better in a classroom situation when you read books, for work, or what have you. So these are videos that are going to follow this one in this series. Thanks.